Things off to the ranking member.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Number of things that Senator Tester mentioned I think are really important. I won't go back into them, but the FSA staffing is very important. Obviously, we want to work with you to address that. He also emphasized the importance of crop insurance and the safety net, as I did in my opening comment. Do you agree that those have to be absolute priorities in the upcoming Farm Bill,
Yes.
updating those?
Yes.
Okay. The emergency, we put together the WIP Plus program and then utilized it, and then came back and utilized it again. You brought it out and called it ERP, Emergency Relief Program. Phase 1 worked very well. We were very pleased with that. Phase 2, as you know, we weren't quite as pleased with in terms of how you formulated it. My request to you going forward is that you would work with us if we utilize that WIP Plus program, or as you call it, ERP, and ELRP. Again, I think you did a lot of good, but we would like to coordinate with you on how it's implemented, if utilized going forward.
You want me to respond to that, Senator?
Yeah.
There are three groups of people that we're dealing with when it comes to ERP. There's the group that has crop insurance or NAPE coverage, where they have information and data that was provided to us, and we pre-populated the application, tried to reduce the time to get resources satisfied. That's phase 1. Phase 2 was focused on the people that did not have, that there are people that are greatest at risk, that don't have any of those protections. Try to get them into that system. If there's money left over from phase 2, our expectation is to take a look at the other group, which is the group that, because of their losses, were didn't trigger an indemnity under crop insurance, that they would then be in a position to be able to receive resources. And we're learning from this experience, and I would expect and anticipate that we need to look at that in terms of this year's ERP program. Good. Having said that, Senator, there's not enough money in that program.
I know, and that was part of it, which is why I registered concerns but left it at that. But no, that's what I hope you'd say, and that's good. We'll work with you going forward. I think, again, as far as that countercyclical safety net, that, getting that right and crop insurance right, updating it like we're talking about, will help diminish the need for some of these other disaster assistance programs. So again, incredibly important. In one of the areas also I want to ask about is the pest management policies. Some of the issues we've seen with glyphosate, chlorpyrifos, some of those products that our farmers and ranchers have been using for years and years and years now are being taken off the market, not necessarily through your actions, but through court actions. It can be kind of state by state. It's creating a difficult patchwork for our producers out there. What can we do about that? And it's also creating a lot of uncertainty for them. I mean, they're buying these products and they can't use them. It really is getting to be an issue that USDA needs to take a leadership role in terms of helping our farmers and ranchers from the standpoint of understanding what they do and the certainty they need as they run their operations.
Well, I'd say a couple things on that. I think, first of all, you're right. We need to be making sure that as other agencies of government make decisions that could impact and affect producers, that we have done a good enough job of educating them about the impact on producers. And I'm fairly confident that our pest management folks are doing that at USDA, that they are providing the technical and scientific and detailed information about the impact and effect of what EPA may be considering. Then secondly, to the extent that we can work with the industry to make sure that as things are restricted in some way, that the labeling is what it needs to be able to provide clear understanding of when and under what circumstances certain things can in fact be used. And then third, if there is a way in which our NRCS capacities can be used in a way to mitigate the consequences of some of this, we ought to be obviously directing our resources to do so. And I think our research folks also have a responsibility to ask the question, are there ways in which we can, if we can't use this, what is the alternative? And we need to provide that alternative to our producers through extension. Like-kind
exchanges. The average age of the farmer nowadays is about 60 years old, which of course I think is remarkably young, but for most people, 60 years old is, we've got to get this next generation into farming. One of the tools they use is 1031 like-kind exchanges. And the administration has come out proposing limitations on 1031 like kind exchanges, but you know the capital barriers to getting into production agriculture. We've got to help this next generation get into farming. That's an important tool.
Well, I would say that that's one of the reasons why we've asked for greater flexibility in our loan programs, so that we're in a position
Agreed.
to help.
Yeah, we need to do more with the beginning farmer and the other loan programs as well. But you would agree those are important tools that our farmer, and that it is an important part of transitioning this next generation into agriculture.
It is, Senator, but the reality is that there are so many needs. I mean, we have to take a look at where does the resource come from to do all the stuff that we want done, that we've all talked about here in this committee and that we're talking about in our budget. I mean, it's a balance.
Yeah, no, I understand. We have to figure out good common sense ways to accomplish it. Again, thank you for being here today and for your work.
You bet.
Senator Baldwin.